afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. Welcome to Afternoon Express, and my name is Versatility. Now, today, you already know what time it is. We're in the kitchen, so it is an Afternoon Express cook-along. So please just be cooking side by side with us. Take notes, because today, we're taking your palates on an adventure. Now, Dumi, I can't do this alone. I had to call on you to come help.
Yes, girl, you know almost. And it's a Tuesday, so every time it's a Tuesday, but I get very excited because it's all things food. So I'm really, really excited for today.
Absolutely. You couldn't be more excited than I am, because today we've got a special chef in the loft. We've got Chef Basil. Now, kamsahamnida.
Kamsahamnida. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I picked up a little something on my travels in Zanzibar. Surprise, surprise. It's so good to have you joining us on Afternoon Express. And that's exactly what you're bringing us. You're bringing us Korean, authentic cuisine.
Yes, it is authentic, but I'd like to bring some South African twist.
It's all about the twists in the kitchen today. Now, South Africa, on social media, we want to find out from you. Do you want to perhaps maybe travel to Korea? Or maybe it's on your bucket list. If you've been there, let us know. Let's engage throughout the show. But also, Chef, you've also got quite the menu for us. So what is on the menu today? What will we be preparing?
Okay, we are making dumplings. I think dumplings are international. Yes, and something chicken with basil. Basil is quite summery herbs, so we are making something simple, and then you can make it a lot when you have time, sitting alone at home, and then freeze, and then enjoy whenever you don't want to feel cooking.
I love that. I'm ready to start cooking. So what do we need in terms of our ingredients to make these delicious chicken dumplings?
Okay, we are using chicken, pre-minced, and anything actually, but we choose basil today, but coriander, just spring onion, any onion or something fresher will add extra flavor to your main protein. So it's up to you.
I love that.
Yes.
Now, Dumi, when it also comes to creating the perfect dumpling, I mean, on Afternoon Express, we've tried Korean food quite a few times. We've had a couple of experts coming in to show us different ways of preparing it. So for you yourself, Dumi, what stands out when it comes to making the perfect dumpling?
I think that's the reason why we had to get Chef Basil in today, because there's so many different ways that people make dumplings, and some people say this is the right way to do it, this is the wrong way to do it. So why not get the correct way to do it, and then rather take it from there and modernize it and change it however we like, but let's at least get the basics.
So what are you going to be chopping up there to add into the dumpling?
So what I'm doing is the basic that's going to go into the meat, the chicken. So I'm chopping up some onions, and I've been told very specifically by Basil to make sure I chop it up finely. So we're going to chop up the onions very finely and some basil, and then you're also going to chop up some ginger and garlic, and all of that is going to go into the filling, but she's also going to show us how to make the dough.
Okay, brilliant. So before we move on to the dough, again, very, very fine, very, very small pieces of ginger and garlic, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
Because the ingredients is bigger, it's hard to make nice looking dumplings.
Yes.
So it's fine if you're lazy, you can just chop roughly and then make an ugly dumpling. It's tasty as well.
It'll taste the same.
Yeah. But the thing is, ginger is very strong.
Yeah.
So try to mince it very finely.
Okay.
Yeah. And in Korean cuisine, mostly garlic is 2 times, ginger is slightly less. Japanese, slightly more gingery than garlicky.
So it actually matters the quantities in terms of the ratio when you're playing with the flavors, because that essentially can take you to a whole other country.
Exactly.
What a way to stamp a passport.
I think it's preference. You don't, it's fine, but I think in general, more garlicky Korean, a little bit more ginger in Japan. Yes.
Love that.
So, Chef, do you want to just take us through the dumpling process? Because, yes, it's easy to make and chop and change the filling, but I think if you get the dumpling pastry right, the actual carrier right, then everything else on the inside.
Yes, I'm going to give you some tips. It's trade secret.
Okay.
Okay, usually cake flour or bread flour, 5 times.
Okay.
And we use sweet rice flour or glutinous rice flour too.
Okay.
If you don't have rice flour, it's fine. It's not the end of the world.
Okay, so you mean like a 5-to-2 ratio?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Awesome, makes sense.
So flour, rice flour, and a little bit of salt.
Okay.
And tiny bit of oil to make it nicer. And then the key secret is boiling water.
Okay.
Then it lasts like stronger, so you don't really break your dumpling.
Okay.
Can I have some water?
Sure, definitely.
Yes. If you don't have boiling water or hot water, just cold water will be fine. Just add tiny bit. And
So it's not really a runny dough, I see. You've added very little water.
If the dough is runny or wet, it can be very difficult when you make the actual shape.
Okay.
So rather add a little, by little. And the actual recipe is on the website or somewhere, right?
Yes, you can get all the recipe details, South Africa, on afternoonexpress.co.za, and these steps that we're showing you right now, how to make the specific dough. So you've got in there some bread flour, you've got some rice flour as well, and then you've got some oil. You put in a bit of salt and a little bit of hot water.
Yeah.
All right.
And then just make the dough, and then keep making it. And
so are you trying to activate the gluten basically like you would?
a little, yes.
Okay.
And then if you don't have muscle power, no worry. You can just rest it in the fridge overnight.
Okay.
And then, ta-da!
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, let me take that from you, because basically you've got some that you've already made for us. So in essence, you basically keep kneading this until it gets to that consistency.
Yes. But if it is not perfect, no worry. Time will help you. Yeah.
So even resting it in the fridge actually helps with releasing the gluten, you say?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
They make it smoother, and the water will be dispersed evenly. So it's much easier.
Okay, and what is the trick when it comes to this now? It's been resting overnight.
Okay.
It's in the fridge. Do you use it immediately from the fridge?
Yes, you can. Will you touch it? Just slightly dense, right?
Okay.
Slightly denser than pasta dough. Okay.
Makes sense.
Will you try also?
Yeah. I feel that, definitely.
Yes. It's easier to work with. And then let's make it easy. Everybody knows how to make pasta, right? So let's pretend this is pasta.
And it's so funny how, you know, the chefs here, Mzansi, they're just like, everybody knows how to make pasta. Well, not everybody. I mean, I've never made pasta before, but I'm loving the confidence. No, it's this confidence that you're instilling within us, because if we do just follow the steps, we will be empowered to be able to do it ourselves.
Yeah, you watch the cooking show again and again and again, and you feel like, I made it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so you've already broken it up into smaller pieces?
Because I want to show you, if the dough is bigger, it's harder.
Oh, okay.
So let's make it smaller.
And how much basil do you want me to chop up here?
I love basil so much.
So
and there is not too much basil in my dumpling.
So there's no such thing as too much basil. I love that. But basil is such a unique flavor within itself.
Yes.
And I also love the versatility of basil. You can almost whip up basil, make a pesto, make a pasta. You can have it in rice, couscous, in a dumpling like what we're doing today. And I've also seen people enjoy basil in some mocktails.
Yes, a savory one.
Yes.
Strawberry, basil, and lime.
Cucumber, stuff like that.
Yes.
So these are the fresh flavors that we can experience within your food and within the cooking that you do.
In Korea, there is a perilla. It's similar to mint or basil, but it's hard to get hold of it in South Africa. So why should we limit ourselves to like traditional ingredients? We can find something similar in South Africa and then make it fresh.
Brilliant.
Yes, perfect. So we finally dice and slice up the basil, the onion.
So nice.
I'm smelling it. It smells amazing. And that's the one thing I love about basil as well, Basil, is that it's so fragrant that in most cases you won't need to use a lot, but because it's one of the star ingredients here, it is, I guess, important to make sure we get as much. Like you said, there's never too much basil in a dumpling, right?
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier.
And when it comes to the versatility of the protein, today we're using chicken, but I know you were saying we can just play with it. We can have pork and other variants.
Pork is very popular in Asian countries, especially China, Korea. But religious reason or any reason, chicken is more versatile. That is the reason why we brought chicken today. But you are more than welcome to use beef, chicken, or duck. Yeah, just the ratio-wise, enough meat and some herb kind of fresh ingredients to balance.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want my dumpling just meaty.
Of course, you want
Yeah.
to be able to get those flavors. Okay.
So enough onion, spring onion, those things. Today we are using chicken because if you're a vegan vegetarian, of course it has less damage to environment, but chicken itself has a slightly more nicer for the farming industry.
Okay.
And also it's very approachable.
Yeah, it seems like it's very common, and it seems like that is essentially what we're going for here. Versatile ingredients, common ingredients that every average South African should have within their fridge and pantry. But Mzansi, we are only halfway from putting together these delicious basil and chicken dumplings. Now, don't forget about social media. We're taking you on a journey, Mzansi. So we want to find out from you today, have you ever been to Korea, or is it on your bucket list? Use that hashtag Afternoon Express in all of your comments. See you after the break.